You ever get that flash of inspiration, that feeling like you can do anything, but then actually turning it into real, lasting change? Yeah, that's the hard part. Well, today, we're going to break down a framework for doing exactly that, transforming that raw motivation into a life that's actually built on purpose. All right, let's start with an idea that might feel a little backward. We spend so much of our lives trying to plan everything out, right? Trying to connect all the dots looking forward. But here's the kicker. The real story, the part that actually makes sense, you can only see it when you look back. And that one idea, it's the foundation for everything we're about to get into. Okay, so our first step is all about building that foundation. It's about figuring out how to move forward with confidence, even when you have no idea what the path ahead looks like. You know, this is such a simple shift in your thinking, but it is huge. It's not about trying to be a fortune teller. It's about having faith in the process. It's this deliberate choice to just trust that all the things you're doing right now, the projects, the passions, the late nights, that they're all going to weave together and mean something down the road. But listen, this isn't just wishful thinking. This trust needs an anchor. And it honestly doesn't matter what you choose. It could be your gut, a sense of destiny, karma, just life itself. The crucial part is to ground your belief in something that gives you a little bit of strength when things feel uncertain. And here's the payoff for that trust. You earn the confidence to actually leave the well-worn path. You can follow your heart, not just the crowd, because you have this deep-down belief that your unique journey will lead somewhere worthwhile. And man, that conviction makes all the difference. Now, once you start trusting the journey, you need a destination that's worth fighting for. So our next section is all about the quest for great work and why settling for just good enough is never, ever a long-term solution. And this brings us to probably the single most important fact there is. Your time is limited. Now, that's not meant to be scary. It's meant to get you focused. It's a powerful reminder not to waste this one precious life you have living by somebody else's rules. And here is the main trap you have to avoid: dogma. And in this context, all dogma really is the pressure to live by some pre-approved script, what your parents or your teachers or society expects from you. It's letting the results of their thinking define your life. So if we're going to reject living by someone else's rules, what's the alternative? The answer is to chase after true, deep satisfaction. And that only comes from doing work that you believe is great. The emphasis there is completely on your belief, your standard, your own sense of purpose. This, of course, leads to the big question, right? The one we all ask ourselves at some point. How do we even find that? How do we actually do great work? The answer? Well, it sounds simple, but it is incredibly challenging. You have to love what you do. And if you haven't found it yet, the only instruction is to keep looking. Do not settle, because settling is the enemy of great work and of a truly satisfied life. So, we have our principles. Trust the path and find work you love. But it's never that simple, is it? Nope. Our next section is all about confronting the obstacles that stand in our way and realizing the biggest ones are almost always internal. So the core conflict is really a battle between two things. On one side, you've got all this external noise, the dogma, the opinions of others. And on the other, you have your internal signal, your intuition, your heart. The challenge is learning how to turn down the volume on all that noise so you can finally hear your own voice clearly. And if external noise is the distraction, then fear, well, fear is the monster in the room. It's way more than just a feeling. It's a destructive force that just strangles our dreams and our hope. And its most dangerous weapon is paralysis, just freezing us and keeping us from taking the action we know we need to take. So how do we fight back against the fear and the noise? This brings us to our most actionable section yet, the discipline that's required to move forward. And it really comes down to making a critical choice every single day. Our daily struggle really boils down to this: a conflict between our feelings and our principles. Feelings, like fear, doubt, apathy, they're fleeting, and they ultimately lead to nothing. But principles, like commitment, integrity, discipline, they always lead to a promise, a tangible result. This brings us to a crucial choice we all face. Are we going to let our emotions run the show, or are we going to lead with our principles? Because if we don't discipline our emotions, they will absolutely use us and keep us from the very goals we say we want to achieve. So here's the game plan for taking back control. First, you have to take total responsibility, no excuses. Second, let your principles, not your feelings, guide your actions. Third, you have to commit to pushing yourself because real change is never easy. And finally, you have to infuse every single day with passion and drive, like it's your last one.
We've talked about trust, we've talked about purpose and discipline. Now we're talking about ownership. Let's move to our final section, where we see how this all comes together. It's your story, and you are the one holding the pen.
This is such a powerful, hopeful message. Whatever has happened before now, the mistakes, the setbacks, the failures, it's all in the past. It's just the prologue. The most important part of your story is the one you haven't written yet.
And this is the question that just cuts through everything else. It's not about what happened to you, it's about your response. It puts the power and the agency right back in your hands. So, what are you going to do about it?
The answer begins quietly. It's just a simple declaration, a commitment you make to yourself before anyone else even hears it. But then, it starts to build. That quiet belief starts to find its voice. It gets louder, more confident, until it becomes an undeniable truth that fuels every single action you take. That right there is the core of an unbroken spirit. And it leaves us with one final thought. Perseverance is everything. Don't give up. Don't give in. The answer is always there. But declaring, I can, is just the beginning. The real question is, are you willing to do the work to find it?